points as possible in this stage in case something happens in the next stage or at the end of the race.
Whoa! Something
there
gonna
it
happen,
is.
all right.
Bell hard into the wall.
That is a huge hit. That was right there at the front. He had Hamlin, his teammate, pushing hard on the outside on the exit of turn 2. Let's see what happens here.
Christopher Bell on the radio says, "I'm okay," and drops the window net to show that to the AMR safety crew that's quickly on the scene. Saw two cars heavily involved there, but Bell just had a hard hit, much like Connor Zilich's in yesterday's Xfinity Series race.
You see the nose of Denny Hamlin. He was right there pushing on the outside. It was time. You knew that they were going to ratchet up the intensity going for these points at the stage end.
Looks like Chris Buescher. Yep.
Chris Buescher out of his car. Buescher and Bell took the restart green flag side by side. Let's have a look.
Right there on the outside, you can see him getting pushed by the 11. On the exit at turn 2, comes a little bit of a tap, kind of dancing across the back bumper, Kevin. He gets loose, gets into Buescher on the bottom.
Well, one thing with those Toyotas, the Toyotas are hard to push. I wrecked Tyler Reddick that very same way that Denny Hamlin just turned Christopher Bell right there off the front of his front bumper. And there's a little crown on the front of those front and rear bumpers of those Toyotas, and they're much harder to push than the Fords are.
See how that wall comes out right there? He hit that thing almost head on. That is a huge hit.
And it happens before you even know what happened. From Denny Hamlin's standpoint, you think you're just doing the right thing, and that car will just take off like Christopher Bell's did right there if something is just misaligned just a little bit.
Let's watch from the Celsius cam on board Ryan Preece, who was right behind them.
You see it start dancing across the back bumper.
Yeah, it's that side-to-side movement, and with that crown on the front and back bumper, when it went right, and when it came back to the left across the front bumper of Denny Hamlin with that little bit of bow on the back bumper, that's when it turns those cars sideways, when they start moving up and down like that.
And it just cleaned off the 17 from the inside of the front row.
Look at the radiator fly out of that car.
You know, the one thing that's consistent since we've been going to these Gen 7 cars, guys, I did a little digging this week, and I'm like, all right, where do these wrecks happen, right? And the average is 1.6. That means those first two cars normally is where the wreck starts. There's a prime example of just that.
Well, the 30-year-old from Norman, Oklahoma, dropped the window net, climbed out, but that was a very hard hit for Christopher Bell, and very much the same way that his Daytona 500 ended to start this season.